Warning: the following video has not been approved by the Comic Code Authority and is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Comic Assassin. You'll notice that I'm actually being a little bit more quiet than I normally am, and that's because, once again, I have a sick kid downstairs who is taking a nap, and I don't want to wake him up. But with that being said, it's Friday. That's what I've been putting up with this week. Sick kids. I hope you all have had a good week. But today's the day where I let you guys know what books I picked up, and we'll also be doing a review on 2 different issues, spoilers included. But I guess the other news, and I'll talk about this more on Monday, is I guess MCU and Sony finally broke a deal. Spider-Man is back in the MCU. I think it's only for one movie, and then they're going to either try to make another deal or they're going to break their ways. So that's interesting. Some of y'all might be excited about that. Some of y'all might be, could care less. Alright, so the books I picked up this week. Starting off with some of my dollar bin finds. Had to get me some Silver Surfer. Scarlet Spider Unlimited #1. Spider-Girl #5, and I had to get this one just for the cover. You put Venom on a cover, I'm sold. I got a few Amazing Spider-Man fillers. I got 342 and 343. For some reason, I didn't already have these. And then New Mutants #2. And the one book, I didn't get this for $1. I paid $3 for it. But it's Guardians of the Galaxy #41. And I'm going to give a shout out to Dazzy over at Daz the Key Chaser. He's got a real cool show. You just check him out. But basically, this is the first appearance of Fat Thor. At least that's what's being credited as the first appearance of Fat Thor. I just thought it was a fun book to have in your collection. But the one I'm really stoked on that I got this week, and I knew about this book, but actually Dazzy did talk about this one as well. The Hulk 17, the magazine. I believe this is from back 1978 or 79. One of the two, but man, this is in great condition. And this is the first appearance of Randall Spector. Mark Spector, the Moon Knight's brother. So, just a great looking book. This one, it's been selling a little bit more on eBay. I think they had one copy on eBay going for like $49. I jumped on Amazon. They had it for like $11.99. And I was like, sold. Sold every day of the week on that one. So yeah, just a good one. Good book to have. It's a first appearance. And I think any Hulk collector would want to have this book in their collection. Alright, going on to the new books. Kind of light. There was a lot of books that I wanted that my LCS just didn't have, like the New Mutants, the new Claremont book that came out. I wanted to get that, but for some reason they only had 2 copies. And the one cover that I really wanted, which they only had 1 copy of, had a really bad damaged corner. And I'll go find it online if I want to, somewhere else. But the first one I got from DC, Red Hood Outlaw 38. I have not read it yet. I know there is another first appearance. But I really enjoyed 37. We'll see if it continues with that one. Batman Curse of the White Knight #3. Had to pick that one up. And then going on to Marvel, I had to get Powers of X #5. Had to go with that cover A. Sweet looking Mr. Sinister cover. And then Absolute Carnage, Miles Morales #2. And Absolute Carnage, The Amazing Spider-Man #30. Alright. So I got 2 more books here. These are more indie books, and these are the ones I'm actually going to be reviewing for you today. And we'll start off with the first one. Resident #3. Now, I know I did a review on issue number 1. I believe I did a review on issue number 2 as well. Love the cover. I think the cover artwork is pretty sweet on this one. So if you haven't read this book and you haven't seen my other reviews on issues 1 and 2, you can always go check those out if you want to get caught up with what's going on with this book. But basically what's happened is the father has a sick kid. He's going to go travel to find some medicine for his kid. He gets pretty much kidnapped, and there's this thing called the wave going on. And whenever the wave comes on, you really don't fully understand it. You get more of an idea what happens when the wave happens in this book. But bad things happen. So whenever the wave comes, they're always like locking themselves down and whatnot. So basically it starts off, the father is flipping out. And basically he's all chained up. He's with some other people who are all chained up. So there's a bunch of people who have been captured. For what purpose, we do not know at this point. But basically this woman's telling them, hey, chill out, you're only going to hurt yourself or kill yourself. And she's like, I was a doctor. I have the medicine that your son needs. We just need to get out of this situation. And basically, she's telling him and trying to calm him down. And she's like, we've all done bad stuff. Apparently before the waves were happening, she was a doctor. And she had a scalpel in her hand, and that's when the first wave hit. And basically, we get a glimpse of what happens with the wave. So basically, once the wave happens, people do awful things. And the guy later goes on, well, let me get to that first. Anyway, then he starts doing all this meditating, yoga type stuff. And like, she's super impressed. She's like, wow, like, how'd you do that? And basically, before he gets into that too much, cicadas, whatever you pronounce it, they start chirping, and that's kind of a warning that the wave's going to come. Anyway, the wave comes, and he rolls over, and they're all chained up, and he's like, you know what? Take it out on me. So the wave comes, and she just starts beating on them. You have people smash their face into the wall, and it's a pretty gruesome scene. Anyway, it cuts back to what the kids are doing. So he has 3 kids. One is a female who's missing a leg. The other one's a younger boy, and the youngest is the one that's sick. And they're sitting about, oh man, these waves are getting more frequent. And the one kid, remember there were some kids that were outside that they happened to come across, and the one kid's like, hey, we should go hang out with them. Apparently they're not affected by the wave. And the daughter, who's just kind of like the one looking over the kids, she's like, no, we're not having it. You're staying inside. We're not talking to anybody. And basically, they get into a big argument. He storms out. They tell each other they hate each other. I hope you die out there, type of thing. So they're kids acting up. I guess I'm... Oh yeah, so now they cut back to the father and the other prisoners. One of the guys did kill himself accidentally. And then he kind of talks about what the wave actually does. And pretty much it gets into your brain and it makes you execute your thoughts, but especially the violent ones. So that's why people get super violent when the wave hits. So he's just talking about how his process of how to completely clear your mind. Gets kind of new agey in this kind of scene, and then lo and behold, some guy pops out of the ship. I guess they're on a ship, and he's like, all right, looks like we only lost one. So they bring him up on to this island, and here's this guy. His name is Hancho, and I guess he's the leader of the island. And I found this was funny. He says, "How my name is Hancho. You all work for me now. I know what you're all thinking. That's awesome, Hancho. You're so cool and handsome. But what about the waves?" So very egotistical, this guy. And basically he has this kind of device. It's kind of like a harness that goes around your waist, that once you know the wave's coming, you clamp down, it locks your arms in, and he'll come and let you loose after the wave goes. this guy, he tries to make a run for it. He's running through the ocean. And apparently he's got booby traps all surrounding the ocean, or surrounding the island. So he gets impaled on like a hidden stake that was there. Anyway, she sees the bag that the medicine's in. He's like, you get the medicine, I'll make a distraction. And he goes, he's battling all these guys, right? And I have to admit, he's kicking some ass in this one. You know, the battle continues, and then he takes one of them hostage, and Hancho over here, he just puts a big old machete right through his own guy, and appears to pierce his stomach, but not, you know, not a mortal wound. And he goes, my name is Hancho, and this is my island. And that's that. Yeah, it was a pretty interesting read. I didn't... It seemed like it was kind of all over the place. I'm still digging the series. Still going to go for issue number 4. Interesting, this whole island concept is very new, so we'll see what's going on with that. But yeah, Resonant 3, I think it's an awesome book. Worth picking up. Alright. The next one is The Plot number 1. Okay. This is from Vault Comics. And this one might be a little bit more difficult to explain, but basically it starts off, this guy, he shows up to this mansion, and he's just walking in, and he's kind of like, you know, it's good to be home. And in the meantime, there's like this meeting over here. There's this guy giving a big speech, and he's talking about, you know, how about his father. His father was ill, and basically he works with this corporation that they're trying to deal with certain diseases and cures, and basically what he's thinking is that mental illnesses can be passed down genetically. Because he says his father had it, his father before him had it. But he tells a story of his father, how his mantra was pretty much, you know, you first must give before you receive. And he just gave and gave and gave and gave. Like, he was a very generous man, and just that's what he did. He gave to charity, and that's what he was best known for. Anyway, he kind of falls apart a little bit during the speech, and I'm assuming this is his wife, kind of comes up and kind of saves the day, and, you know, they're all congratulating him. I don't know if it's a birthday party or they're celebrating some type of anniversary or something like that. Anyway, you start hearing the phone ring, right? And he just pretty much goes, rips the phone out the wall. I guess he knows that it was his brother. His brother was trying to call him. So both this guy and the guy who's in the mansion, they're brothers. I guess he wanted his brother to be there at the event. The brother didn't show up. Anyway, the two, they go back home, and they're sitting there. They're all having just a good old time. You know, and they're just kind of some romantic talk, and all of a sudden, this beast just comes lurking out of the corner. And then pretty much, as you could imagine, this beast is taking him down. Pretty gnarly green creature. Overpowers him. Throws him out the window. And pretty much they die. So, yeah. So meanwhile, it looks like they're doing some renovation in this house. They're cracking up into a wall, and in the meantime, the brother gets the news that, you know, his brother has been dead. Was found dead. They're investigating it, but they would like for him to contact the police at his earliest convenience. He flips out with the sledgehammer. He's all pissed. And this cuts into the whole funeral scene. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but basically, there's a funeral scene. These are the kids. There's a daughter and a son. And that was the guy who was giving the speech, and the woman, that's their kids. So now they're pretty much, you know, without a family. And basically, it's going to happen that his name is Uncle Chase. Chase is going to be the one taking care of him. So they're taking this drive up to this mansion, this old decrepit-looking mansion, which I guess is their old family home. It's been in their family for generations, hundreds of years. But basically, when he gets there, there's this cop waiting for him, and he just tells the kids, go on, go explore, but don't wander off too far. And him and the cop get in this argument, and the cop's like, what the hell are you doing back here, man? And he's like, what do you care? And he goes, it's my job to protect this town. This town doesn't need any more of the BS that goes on from this property. And the guy's like, what do you want me to do? I need to take care of these kids. Their parents were just murdered. Basically, while he's having the argument, they're going inside. The girl's going in there. She's exploring. Like, all the pictures are hung upside down. And then she steps on something green, what looks like maybe a root. And she kind of falls down. And she's like, she's getting tangled up by these roots. But there's like this wicked tree in the background. There's like this lady hanging upside down on it. So, yeah. And then it skips right to the boy. He's off trying to catch frogs. And then all of a sudden, the dog senses something. It's barking like crazy. And it's trying to go and, I guess, try to rescue him. And this tree-like thing's coming out from the water and sucks him down. And that's how it ends. I liked the story. I wasn't that impressed with this book, though. I can see issue 2 might be better. They laid some framework to it. I'm not a huge fan of this art. Like, this beast to me just isn't that scary looking. I'm not a huge fan when you have pages like this and you only have like the only dialogue, like one word, small phrase. Like, put some writing in your books. So I'm not a huge fan of that. It just, yeah. I didn't like how they did all the bark stuff. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the artwork. But it's got me intrigued enough. I'll probably check out number 2. But yeah, but if this is a book, if issue 2 is not just awesome, I'm dropping it. So, yeah. Because there's too much stuff out there for me to be spending my money on. Anyway, guys, like I said, I know I'm not as loud and boisterous as I usually am, or at least as much as I'd like to be. The little man slept through it. He didn't wake up. That's awesome. But thank you so much for everybody who comes and check out these videos. If you picked up any of these books, let me know what you guys think. If you read them, if you liked them, you didn't like them. But with that being said, I will come back on Monday with my normal video, talking about the comic book news and what's coming out the upcoming week. So yeah, all that being said, y'all have a great weekend. And if you do manage to get out, or if you're online, trying to pick up some comic books, I want to wish all of you happy hunting.